Hey guys, welcome back to Goodie, Graps. Today we're talking about Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank is coming up soon. And lately, like, we've seen it be positioned a lot as like the fifth of WWE's like big four pay-per-views, making it like the unofficial big five. As something that's like being propped up as an achievement, an accolade that's on the level of a Royal Rumble win or a like a King of the Ring or something.
Yeah.
Like, Money in the Bank has become a standard of WWE for the last like 20 or so years. Nevertheless, there's a lot of problems with Money in the Bank currently. It, as a concept, hasn't felt fresh in a long time. I don't feel like it's always used to like the best of its ability. And today we just want to break down some of our problems with Money in the Bank. And if you agree or disagree, as always, make sure you leave some comments and let us know like what you think. Also, as always, give us a follow, like, and subscribe. The channel's just been taken off this year. Again, thanks for all the support all the time. But y'all aren't here for us to, give you our thanks. Y'all are here for us to bitch about Money in the Bank. So whether it's fair or not, our starting point with our first problem with Money in the Bank is going to be the 2024 men's winner, Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Now, Drew McIntyre is an all-around excellent performer, probably WWE's MVP of last year.
We love Drew McIntyre. I love Drew McIntyre.
I love Drew McIntyre too. Drew McIntyre winning Money in the Bank last year is like just a showcase of everything that's wrong with Money in the Bank currently. First and foremost, Drew McIntyre is a multi-time WWE champion. He actually won the world championship at WrestleMania last year.
Yeah.
He did lose it via cash-in, but like someone who's an established, like already main eventer, if you lost the championship to the guy who cashed in, you're next in line for a rematch. Anyway, I don't remember if Money in the Bank was before or after the clash in Scotland last year.
Yeah,
but
I don't remember either.
He had another match for the title anyway, and it's just like, we're going on the third straight year that like LA Knight's in the match, and back-to-back years he could have won. But like, why do we have an established main eventer like winning the match, taking up a spot that could go to like a younger, more established person? And like the reason why Drew McIntyre is this first bullet point isn't any of that, but it's because the cash-in was wasted the same night to further a story that was going to be going on either way.
Anyway.
So everyone else that was a part of the match, part of the qualifiers, part of the build-up, for a feud that was going to encapsulate 10 months of programming, whether it was involved in Money in the Bank or not, like all of their time, all of their effort was wasted.
Yeah.
And that's just like, when you have such an expansive roster with like so many people who like struggle to be utilized and showcased, and you have to come up with different creative stories for everyone, if you have a concept in place that like allows you to grant like this opportunity to all these different people in your roster,
yeah,
and you want to burn through it to like further a story that you're going to be doing anyway, it's just like,
it makes it feel wasted. And the whole point of Money in the Bank should be to like you said, promote those like younger talents or newer people who haven't had the chance yet. So yeah, it just felt kind of like a wasted opportunity.
It's a waste all around. And like, this is kind of indicative of like our second point that we want to bring up. With Money in the Bank, there should be more focus on like the long-term booking that goes into each winner. Like, for instance, every person that wins Money in the Bank for the last couple of years hasn't seemed like someone that the company has fully had like their chips in behind.
Yeah.
Like Otis, that seemed like it was a very like spur of the moment pandemic decision. Like, he's over, but like we're not fully behind him. We don't know if this is gonna work. Fine, we'll have him drop it to the Miz. Austin Theory, super young, not really all the way there yet. We don't know. We'll have him win it. And we talked about this like this is the first year that the women's mid-card championships have been a thing.
Yeah.
So the women's United States championship and the women's Intercontinental championship could have been like the test run for like what this Money in the Bank could be. You take a young person and you give them a tangible like object to hold on to. Let them defend the Money in the Bank briefcase as like a title sometimes in their little feuds that they're having outside of the title scene, to add a couple of months to them holding it where they're not just like aimlessly hovering around and looking like a buffoon. I feel like the biggest issue is the people who win look like idiots for 9 to 10 months if they have a long-term like holding the Money in the Bank briefcase tenure.
Yeah.
Or,
and instead of building them up, you get tired of it. Like, I hate to throw her under the bus, but Tiffy, all of her failed cash-in attempts just made me kind of lose steam.
Yeah.
And I love Tiffy. So yeah,
and it makes it to where it's like, just because they have the briefcase, it's like a free, like, I can eat losses and they won't affect me. Like, that's not the case at all.
Yeah.
Like, Damian Priest losing and failing cash-ins, like, every month for the entirety of his tenure made it to whereas when he finally did cash in, him being this indestructible babyface out of nowhere.
It didn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And now, like, there's resentment to his babyface character because it's like, where was this? This has never been you. Out of the blue, you cash in one day and you can get superplexed off the top of a cage and claymored and you're kicking out at 1.5. It's like, who the fuck are you? And since when is this like your bag?
Yeah.
It never has been. So just be consistent with the long-term booking. Another issue is like with the women. Like 90% of them, I think Tiffany had a long one, Carmella had a long one. Everyone else, like 90% of them cash in the same night or like that first week or first month. And it's like, that kind of brings us to the third point I want to make. Do we need to have Money in the Bank every year? We don't have King of the Ring every year. We don't have like, there doesn't need to be two of them at least, because with the last couple we've had like a guy, Drew McIntyre cashed in last year on the night of Tiffy had a long tenure. We had EO cash in within like a couple of weeks. Damian Priest had a long tenure. I want to say like who was the person before that? I think it was Liv Morgan. Liv might have had like a same night cash in. Austin Theory had a long tenure with it, or like Brock Lesnar, he didn't really hold on to it very long. It's just like
they get trapped in like a cycle of, you can only have it one way or the other way.
And if you can't commit to building two strong Money in the Bank winners, like if you only want to have like, oh, this story of Money in the Bank this year is going to be Tiffany Stratton's long-term build to becoming a main eventer, then just do like this year we're only having the women's match, next year we're having the men's match, and alternate or something like that. Like you get to the point of oversaturation. Maybe if Money in the Bank was more of a specialty, like you got a lot of people who've gotten hot and like everyone's just looking for a chance to break that glass ceiling. It's announced we're going to have a Money in the Bank ladder match. And like, I think that brings us to the next point. And we're going to skip one. I don't think Money in the Bank should be its own pay-per-view anymore.
Yeah.
Like back when Money in the Bank was something that you got at WrestleMania, it allowed you, like every year at WrestleMania, they're scratching and searching for how do we get everyone possible on the card. These people are in the Andre Battle Royale. Like, oh, let's make a multi-man Intercontinental Championship match or a multi-man U.S. title match.
Yeah.
When there used to be Money in the Bank where you can take 6 to 8 to 10 guys and have them go out there. They're fighting for something meaningful. Like it gives them something to do in the weeks leading up to WrestleMania with like qualifying matches and stuff.
Yeah.
And like for all the people who didn't really have much to do this year at WrestleMania, you're telling me Sami Zayn, who missed WrestleMania completely, like Carmelo Hayes, Karrion Kross,
the Street Profits.
Like you're telling me these people couldn't have like had a show-stealing ladder match?
Yeah.
Or even on the women's side, like Bailey wasn't in the match with Lyra and Becky, but like Bailey being in a Money in the Bank match, all of the women that just got released, Dakota, Shayna, all the people that are just sitting at home, that could have been a WrestleMania payday for them, a chance for them to showcase and like build a new star, get someone over.
Yeah.
You know?
And just add more like excitement to WrestleMania. Not that it was like lacking in excitement, but it's just another thing to make it more special.
There used to be like key things that you tune into WrestleMania for. Like there's the title matches, but like outside of a title match, how do you make a match special? You have like those blood feuds. There used to be the Undertaker streak. And then there's something like Money in the Bank, where
something's on the line, like, you know, something
especially
important.
now that there's like 2 nights, like right now with Money in the Bank being a one-night thing, you're getting 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches like within like an hour or so of each other, and that kind of limits like the spots that like the girls and guys don't want to all do the same things. Like you have to produce 2 completely separate different matches, and it's like
it's limiting.
You can space out the audience and like what they're getting and like their thrills for each night. So like it's not the same crowd that saw Chelsea Green get flipped off of the ladders through the tables like 2 hours ago, watching like someone get chokeslammed, Damian Priest get chokeslammed or something, you know?
Yeah.
And one last point that we think, like, overall, Money in the Bank should be used to like elevate a new star and take someone who's not quite a main eventer and break them through that glass ceiling. Like we've seen it with like Dolph Ziggler, we've seen it with Damian Priest, we've seen people be legitimized by it, and we've seen people who like they may have cashed in and like it just felt like not quite legit. Like Liv Morgan's world title like reign last year after beating Becky Lynch was what legitimized her, but she had been a world champion before that from her Money in the Bank cash in, and it just like I guess it goes back to the long-term booking. If you're not like willing to invest in this person and build them into being that main event caliber star, like those are the people who this should be going to.
Yeah.
Like
especially like those NXT champs or people who are getting their call up who have not had that chance to shine yet. Even just being in the match, not necessarily even winning Money in the Bank, but having a chance to showcase what you can do in the match, it would benefit everybody.
Like for instance, this year, Roxanne and Julia occupied 2 of the spots so far for the women.
Yeah.
You have Rhea, who's never been in one. Like, Rhea's an established star. Her winning probably wouldn't go over well because she, at really any point in time, can just kind of demand or challenge for a title match. She's
Rhea's
done in the
like
past.
Kind of like Charlotte in that way.
Yeah. Like, she doesn't need this to win, but, like, having someone like Roxanne or Julia win and she's in the field of people that they defeated legitimizes them.
Yeah.
And it makes it to where it's like when they do like win, like they can brag, oh, I beat Rhea Ripley for this. I beat Julia for this. I beat Roxanne for this, blah, 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 blah. Same thing on the men's side. Like, we were talking about how maybe one of those spots that Seth occupied could have gone to Sammy or Finn or Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed. And it's like, why Seth, a multi-time WrestleMania main eventer, like the most established, most made man, he's the last person that needs
Who
this.
needs the opportunity. You know? Yeah. Yeah.
Meanwhile, like, in other qualifying matches, it's like one of Jacob Fatu, Andrade, or Carmelo's gonna like all
they
3 of them should be in that match.
Yes, they could all realistically
win.
Penta
should be in that match. LA Knight should be in that match. All these guys that are right there Phoenix. On the brink, like they're stars, they're over, people are behind them, but they need that one thing that pushes them over the top.
Yeah,
like. I know we're not the biggest fans of him, but Chad Gable, like this is a match that's perfect for him. It's a match that's perfect for like NXT, call it like if they wanted to bring up Ethan Page or Ricky Saints or like Stephanie Vaquer and Jordan Grace seem to be making their like debuts on Raw and SmackDown pretty soon.
Yeah.
Like this bolsters up everyone, and it could be like a rising tide thing where multiple people have good showings. Like thinking back to like Seth Rollins' time with the Money in the Bank briefcase, I think that was done really well because he held on to it for a long time. He allowed it to like be part of his character, and like carry on as a tangible prop through his feud with Dean Ambrose, where Dean Ambrose can steal it and have it, and like him having it is like something that's driving Seth as a Weasley heel up the wall. Like, I need to get it back. Like, there's so many plot lines that derive from this, and like, you know, he's never gonna cash it in successfully if he has like a blood rival who's like always there to stop him. So we got to get this guy out of the way, written off. Do I need to start a team? Like, all the different plot points and butterfly effects that can come.
Yeah, there's
from
so
just,
much
like,
you can do.
Diving into like having a long-term story with a new star, like the same way, like the same thought that goes into who's winning the Royal Rumble this year. How are we going to build them up and like make WrestleMania about them, you know? The way that like Triple H thought, okay, Jey Uso, he's going to win the Rumble, he's going to win at Mania, we're going to make him the world champ. That's the thought at the start of the year that should go into who's winning Money in the Bank. We're going to put the briefcase on them. It's going to be their test run, see how they handle the pressure, see how they can like adapt. In conclusion, I feel like as long as like I think maybe just having one Money in the Bank match per year, deciding at the start of the year, hey, this is the person that we're getting behind, and like having a long-term booking plan for that person.
Yeah, not
and
just a
anointing
last
them
minute.
at WrestleMania, like
Yes.
making it a grand moment that's like a celebratory event in their career. That I think that fixes Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Take your choice of like, hey, Money in the Bank next year at WrestleMania. We're saying right now, Obafemi is going to come up. He's going to win that.
Yeah.
And we're going to have him hold it until like after SummerSlam. Like, have a plan in place and then just execute it. And like, that'll fix everything.
Yeah, basically. Don't just throw things together last minute.
Yeah. Yeah. We hope all this comes together really well. But yeah, anyway, that's how we would fix Money in the Bank. If you have other suggestions, leave them in the comments below.
Tell us who you think is going to win Money in the Bank this year. Leave a
I'm
comment.
going with Carmelo Hayes and Naomi.
Carmelo Hayes is winning for sure. I don't know. I don't know about women's Money in the Bank.
My runners
I don't know
up,
who I want to win.
or my honorable mentions, I guess, are LA Knight and Roxanne. I'll be happy with whoever as long as there's a plan to follow up with it and legitimize them. But as always, I'm Joe Ho.
I'm Casey.
We are Goodie Graps, and take care. We'll see you soon.